Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. Education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. Its function is to teach one to think intensively and critically. This week in our magazine, we'll take a look at career options in the field of education, as well as offerings at the G.C. Foster College. But first, a look at the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation's 2017 Year in Review. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay tuned.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade made great strides in 2017 to strengthen Jamaica's regional and international relations.
We must secure improved market opportunities beyond our shores.
Watch the review of major achievements by the Ministry in 2017 on January 22, right here on Jamaica Magazine.
The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation made major strides in 2017. Take a look.
We have made a commitment to the prosperity of Jamaicans, and we are going to do that through economic growth and job creation.
Concrete steps were made in 2017 to cement gains through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Identifying bureaucratic inefficiency as the major obstacle to economic growth, the ministry increased Jamaica's business-friendly environment. On August 9, the government launched its gov.jm platform, a one-stop shop for state-related information and services.
Bringing the information together forces the bureaucracy to start to look at its business processes and engineer them for efficiency.
Meanwhile, work began on a national investment portal spearheaded by Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO.
The portal will have three main functions: information sharing, online application submission, and back office interface among government approval entities.
An investor guide outlining the steps involved with doing business in Jamaica also took shape in 2017. On July 21, Minister Darrell Vaz was named chairman of the National Competitiveness Council. In April, Senator Don Webby was tapped to lead the National Investment Policy Steering Committee. And in December, Senator Obin Hill was named Executive Director of the Economic Growth Council. Work continued in 2017 on the Special Economic Zone, SEZ. In January, an MOU was signed with Singapore to develop the SEZ regulations, which were later tabled in Parliament on September 12. By November, the Houses of Parliament approved an amendment to the SEZ Act to remove responsibility for the zone from the Minister with responsibility for industry to the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
This Andrew Holness-led government is here to facilitate.
So through JAMPRO, the Development Bank of Jamaica, Port Authority and the Factories Corporation, several projects were either initiated, continued or completed in the year. The entities partnered on 4 enterprise projects worth $134 million aimed at providing 27,000 jobs. In 2017, those projects created over 5,000 jobs in the business process outsourcing sector alone. At the Development Bank of Jamaica, $9.3 billion in investment support was provided for 73 new micro, small and medium enterprises MSMEs. 458 MSMEs also received capacity building training from the bank.
Improving the employability of our young people is of critical importance to the country's growth and job creation agenda. We must continue to help our people excel.
The ministry did that by employing Hope trainees across various agencies. Training through a sector skills council was also facilitated.
The next step will be to involve the operationalization of apprenticeship programs with the support of the private sector to address skill gaps experienced by employers. And this will lead to greater employment and productivity.
The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation provided social housing in 2017. Through the Housing Agency of Jamaica, 168 service lots were delivered in St. Elizabeth. In February, Cabinet approved the merger of the Land Administration and Management Program and the National Land Agency. The agency's electronic titling system, sponsored by the World Bank, also continued in 2017. In April, the Real Estate Authority of Jamaica was formed. And on the policy side of things, the ministry hosted the inaugural Regional Housing Conference.
Water is critical to the economic growth and development of the country.
In February, the National Water Commission signed an MOU with the Heart Trust NTA and MIA to train 150 persons to improve service delivery. By December 15, a contract was signed for the provision of 450,000 solid-state smart water meters. This agreement complements the repair of over 3,000 leaking pipes up to October 2017, all part of the Commission's non-revenue water co-management project. On February 17, ground was broken for the $131.9 million Bay Farm Villa sewage project. It's one of 6 corporate area projects under the $12 million Caribbean Region Fund for Wastewater Management, CREW project. By April, a contract was signed for Phase 2 of the Port Antonio Water Sewage and Drainage Project. Over in Clarendon, the Palmetto Pen, Breadnut Bottom, Rosewell Water Supply Project was commissioned in August. It's one of 11 projects under the Rural Water Supply System that covered 7 parishes. The repair of 5 irrigation canals for farmers in St. Elizabeth, Manchester, St. Catherine, Clarendon and St. Thomas got underway in 2017.
The general vision is not just to put up square boxes that rise several stories. The vision is to build buildings that represent the future of Jamaica.
Through the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, work continued on the downtown Kingston redevelopment project in 2017. In March, a contract was signed for the Phase 1 of the Government of Jamaica Parliament and Government Offices Oval Zone project. The Victoria Pier was reopened in December and the Accountant General's office relocated to the Oceana building on June 1. 2017 also saw construction work starting for the Red Rose Fish Market and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade headquarters on the Kingston waterfront. The Ocherias redevelopment plan also took shape in 2017. In addition to works on the Ocherias Fishing Village, construction continued on a promenade that links the town to the Ocherias cruise shipping pier. And through the Port Authority, the Logistics Hub initiative was pushed with the September completion of dredging works on the access channel to the Kingston Harbour. With the widening, the country can now accommodate new Panamax container vessels.
When you build a road, you open up development. In fact, they say that the road to development starts with a road.
And so 4 of the 6 major infrastructure development program legacy projects were continued in 2017. On October 5, the $20.5 million Marcus Garvey Drive Road Improvement Project was opened. In August, the Cupius Bridge in Clarendon was opened at a cost of $700 million. The contract for the Mandela Highway Improvement Project was extended by $68 million. 2017 also saw contracts being signed to improve the Constant Spring Junction and Barbican Main roads. In February, a loan agreement was signed for the $384 million Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. Over in Western Jamaica, the designs for the Montego Bay bypass were completed with financing for the project being sought.
I've given the NWA a mandate, build road, but I have to modify it, fix road too.
And so $630 million was disbursed to members of Parliament for pothole patching, bushing, drain cleaning and general cleanup in all 63 constituencies across the island. Having ratified the Paris Climate Change Agreement on April 11, the ministry drew down $300,000 from the United Nations Green Climate Fund in October. The money will go towards developing a country program for engagement with the fund.
I can assure you, therefore, that this support from the GCF can be considered as a first step on a journey towards the financing of many more projects that are in the CCD's project portfolio, as well as those that are still in the pre-planning phase.
And in November, the boundaries of the cockpit country was declared with an announcement that no mining will be permitted in the 74,726 hectare protected area.
We cannot put a price tag on the loss to our water resources and our biodiversity.
We are working 24/7, 365 to make sure that you can have a better life, to make sure that prosperity is not just a word, but an experience.
More life.
More memories.
More moments. Jamaica Moves is a call to action to prevent non-communicable diseases. Get active, eat healthy. You can protect yourself from high blood pressure, obesity, asthma, certain cancer diseases, and more.
GC Foster College has been the Caribbean's leader in physical and sports education for over 30 years. Watch this feature to find out more about their offerings. This just might be the school of choice for you.
Conditioning the body and mind, contributing to holistic development. This can be your experience at the GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport, the only institution of its kind in the English-speaking Caribbean.
There was a growing need to establish an institution, a training institution, to educate and train teachers of physical education and sport and coaches. GC Foster not only fulfilled the mandate locally, but we are now reaching international countries. We are not just known as the home of world-class coaches, but we're producing world-class athletes as well.
The institution uses state-of-the-art equipment, including a new 400 meters track donated by the Sport Development Foundation, and international comparable training techniques and technology to teach the importance of physical literacy and sport, opening doors for careers in multiple fields, from event management, massage therapy to fitness instruction. The institution offers various levels of education, from certificate to postgraduate.
There are quite a few programs that we do offer that you'd call not necessarily conventional programs. We try to get the students optimally rounded so they can introduce different sporting activities to the students when they go out in the world of work.
Students are given the opportunity to hone and shape what is learned in theory through practical exercises in the various facilities provided for multiple sporting disciplines. For the past 36 years, the GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport, with its well-trained staff, has been providing Jamaica and the world with physical education and sports specialists.
GC Foster laid the foundation for a scientific understanding of the sports science and its various disciplines, track and field, football, volleyball, basketball, and so on. It also laid the foundation for emotional support in terms of understanding human behavior, learning how to deal with situations that are quite common to group dynamics.
The college facilitated my preparation as a referee because of the numerous fields, so I use it to train to keep up my fitness level.
It's not very easy over here, but it basically helps you to become a mentally and physically tough person.
Nothing in life comes easy, and you have to work whatever it is that you want. They have given me the platform to train and education and to work. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity that they have blessed me with.
At the GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport, you can find your place on the field, track, court, in the pool, ring, over the table, across the net, or at the front of the class. The GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport, a world-class training institution.
Mommy?
Yes, Zoe?
Can we read this book? It will only take 10 minutes.
Sure, sit down. Every spring, Madame Angel Wing arranges.
Do you have 10 minutes? Read with your child today. Reading with your children for just 10 minutes each day helps develop their language and listening skills, stimulates their imagination, and expands their understanding of the world. So, start reading with your child today.
Growing up, most children identify teacher as their career of choice. But how many of you followed through with that first dream of yours? This week, we'll be turning the spotlight on our literacy specialists. Take a look.
Sound! 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 Let's try to put those together. Again. What's that word? Pops. Pops. Call that word. Pops. Call the word. Pops. This word says pops. All right.
Michina Colson is a school-based literacy coordinator for the Ministry of Education.
Oh, this is my passion.
And that is usually the case for just about everyone who pursues this particular career path.
You have to be committed. You have to be patient. To treat with reading problems is not easy, right? But you have to be committed to the task.
A literacy specialist, sometimes called a reading specialist, is an educator who helps students develop their literacy skills.
And we talk about literacy skills, we're talking about writing, oral language or speaking, listening, and critical thinking. You take a clinical approach to teaching. So there you treat with the difficulties, reading difficulties, writing difficulties, and all of that.
We work on the words and then we go to the actual reading. So it's a step-by-step process. I also use the guided reading where I would read along with them, I would guide them into reading.
We also have those students who are performing above, and so the job of the literacy specialist is to provide enrichment programs so you know how to treat with those students as well.
We tie in with the regular classes through consultation as well as through observation of what the children are doing and so on. He, come on, he forgot. Remember that word from this board. Let's read again. He forgot. Say forgot.
Persons who take on this job are expected to have taken a number of post-secondary courses that focus specifically on literacy or reading education. A bachelor's or master's degree may be necessary.
You have different tertiary institutions that you can go. I know the Jamaica University, they have a lot of reading programs, they offer a lot of reading programs, and also degree in literacy in reading. And the University of the West Indies, they also have a bachelor's course in literacy studies and a master's course as well, and you can do that face-to-face or online. And I think Monique Teachers College, they have a literacy program there as well.
As long as the school or program you choose is accredited, your certification should also work in other countries. But
you need to, however, learn the culture of the places that you go to, because with literacy, you have to really teach it according to culture.
And locally or overseas, there is a solid demand for literacy specialists.
Yes, there are. And the schools, especially the primary schools and even the high schools, They have a high demand for literacy specialists.
Earning potential is also good, with local jobs attracting as much as 7-figure salaries and comparable numbers overseas.
So it's very lucrative.
So that I can give back really to my community, to my area, in whatever way I can. And this is my little way of doing that.
First and foremost, I have a passion. I have a love for reading, a passion for literacy. I love to help people. I love to help students. And one of my major success is getting a child who don't even know letter sounds. And at the end of a year or at the end of even 6 months, that child can read even a paragraph, and that is satisfying for me.
This word says what? Fox. This word says fox. That's 2 animals already we see in the story, right? Good job, wow.
Nick, I got it. Google. You got us a job at Google? Not a job. It's an interview for an internship that could lead to a job.
Welcome to Google. This will not be your average internship.
We're looking at some sort of mental Hunger Games against a bunch of genius kids for just like a handful of jobs.
That's a Sharpie, by the way, genius.
Funny, but it is a real-life practice. Companies do provide work experience for students or young professionals, sometimes with a stipend, but often unpaid. Here's why you might want to consider this route. You gain valuable work experience, which can boost your resume and therefore employability. You're exposed to the office and work culture, so the learning curve is less steep once you actually get a job. You get to test your love of a particular career without being committed to a job right now. You can network with influential people in your career field to help you find work later, and you're positioned to develop new skills. Once you know where to apply, send in a resume and personalize the cover letter showing not just your skills, but also emphasizing what the company will gain from accepting you. There may be no salary to think of, but an apprenticeship position might just pay off huge dividends in the long run. Think about it. Literacy is a bridge from misery to hope. It is a bulwark against poverty and a building block of development. Literacy is the road to human progress and the means through which every man, woman, and a child can realize his or her full potential.
Parents, how do you think your children feel when they are beaten?
I feel so sad when my mother beats me. It makes me feel so angry.
I feel embarrassed, and I feel like you just don't care.
It has been proven that coercive parenting is directly linked to the aggression your children are displaying in schools. The National Parenting Support Commission is imploring you, parents, rethink your actions. Stop beating your children.
A message from the National Parenting Support Commission in collaboration with Ministry of Education, Youth and Information for improved safety and security in schools.
I love to explore, and I love to pull and fix. I'm curious about life and what it's worth.
I'm a part of the Special Olympics team for Westmoreland.
I'm also a Special Olympian. I'm proud to be one.
I have a lot of medals, but the bad thing about it is not a lot of gold, but it's medals.
As the first race I won, I came dead last.
A guy run left me. And this year, I went back to Kingston and I make up my mind and say, you know what?
I don't make no Kenyan person run with me again.
Because guess what? I want it 1 out of 1. I don't want to be 2-0.
So I take it And for the whole week, I train till that the race will come. I'm win it by far.
And accomplish, will achieve.
The experience was nice. I learned some new things. And every time I can take shortcut in our work.
Thank you for the National Youth Service. I think God put it on this earth, really, for people with disability. It is a great program, a wonderful program. It helped me to realize a lot of things in this world, so I can think about other things and go at them. Not just sit at home and playing games, watching TV, because I know that won't help me.
We have been privileged to go through this experience with all of these young persons. It has been both a learning experience for us, the staff at the NYS, as well as the young persons. We saw the young persons developing their own personal and professional skills. If you or someone you know has an intellectual disability, you can refer them to the National Youth Service, where our program fully caters to their personal and professional needs, where we will be sure to assist them in transitioning into the world of work.
The National Youth Service, empowering Jamaica's young people.
The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, has been investing in communities across Jamaica for 21 years. At the end of the 2016-2017 fiscal year, JSIF completed 49 projects across the island, valued at $1.1 billion. According to Managing Director Omar Sweeney, the agency is currently executing 5 major projects. Among them, the Disaster Vulnerability Project, which looks at the country's susceptibility to natural disasters.
Jamaica is known to have what is the triple threat, which is hurricanes, earthquakes, and flooding, landslides, type of thing. And so our resilience to natural disaster is an important area for consideration.
JSIF's Integrated Community Development Project targets the inner city communities in Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Maypen, Savannah Lamar, Montego Bay and Ocho Rios, which are impacted by crime and violence. Its poverty reduction program targets more than 40 urban and semi-urban communities. The Basic Needs Trust Fund impacts farming communities and underdeveloped rural-type communities, upgrading their schools, health centers and roadways. And the Petro-Carib Development Fund focuses on sanitation in schools.
In 2018, there are still schools across Jamaica that use pit latrines. And so our sanitation project is aimed at really this year. We anticipate that we would be able to eliminate pit latrines from all primary school institutions in Jamaica. I think we have about another 18 or so left.
These are just some of the work being done to better the lives of citizens across Jamaica. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, working assiduously in communities to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. I hope you found our program informative. Send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Stay informed on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and of course Twitter. Or download our app on your Apple and Android devices to catch up on the go. You can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.